Hi, my name is Lorraine Eyetsa Ocloo. I'm the immediate past president of IDDG. So I'm an interior designer and have a design practice for Decorators Limited for the past 15 years. I also run a space called the Shop Accra, which is a lifestyle shop. I also run the Gallery Accra, which is an art space that encourage and promote design and art shows, as well as also consultancy that looks at design intelligence and design thinking. Well, I think if I look at IDDG today, it's our 7th anniversary, and one of the things that makes me really proud is the collection of members we have at the moment, right? We have a large majority of them are youth, and I think it's something to be said for an organization that's, has a lot of youth as part of its constitution, because the future is the youth. And so that's one of the things that I'm really, so looking at 7 years after, I'm very confident that, IDDG will stand the time because of its collection of members that we have. I'm also very proud about the leadership structure that has been put in place. I think we've come quite a long way for the association to now have, a structure that is very much forward-thinking and sustainable. And that's one of the things that I'm really happy about. So those things are very important. So IDDG in the last 7 years has made quite remarkable strides, I must say. Even the last year alone, I think Accra Design Week really stirred up quite a lot of knowledge and interest in interior design. And the past couple of years involving the students and schools and other organizations that are pretty much adhered to the training of future leaders and future professionals. I think that basically has shifted IDDG from it being just a regular association to a very active one, which is one of the most important things that the industry needs. With that said, obviously there's a lot of room for improvement, and I think IDDG is on the right track. So it's really exciting to be watching from afar. IDDG is the creative part of it's a core part of the creative industry, and I think one of the things that a lot of people, when we're talking about creative industry, leave out is that design really shapes our livelihood. So IDDG as an interior designers, decorators, stylists, all of the above, interior architects, really shape how our environment looks like. Not just the exterior with obviously the help of architects and other allied professions, but it also allows you to be able to couch a world interior-wise that really is safe, right? Obviously, we are living in difficult times. There is war across, the world, and I think being able to have a safe space, a healthy space, a sustainable environment, a breathable one, an ecological one, knowing that you're giving back to nature. All of these are things that really helps in terms of us being able to process what's happening in the world. And I think without that, it would be a completely different world. So IDDG does not just matter. It's actually, fundamentally the core part. Obviously, with everything that's happening, I think I foresee or envisioned like the core part of IDDG's activism, being, allowing the youth to really play a role, right? And I think it's all about resources. It's all about also making sure that there are activities available, because we are in Ghana, and the context is there's a lot of people that are unemployed, a lot of youth. Africa is, in the next 10 years, is going to have the largest population of youth. And so for me, one of the things that I stress is that I hope that the institution, as it stands now, evolve into becoming an actual training and certification institution that validates all these professionals who are going to school to get the necessary education that they need, but then need the accreditation they need to be able to work across the world. So I hope that IDDG, in the next 10 years, becomes an institution, an educational one, and a training one, and a certification one. Those are the three things that and I think we're doing a great work with promotion. And I think obviously once you promote, you get more interest. There's more interest in people wanting to become interior architects, interior designers, and interior decorators. And so the question now is that how do you sustain that? And I think we can only do that when we can actually get institutionalized processes in place that allows people to be accredited properly, and give people to be able to, practice with professionalism and not, on the sidelines. So the advice I have for the IDDG leadership right now is, keep doing what you're doing. Like, you're on a great path. I personally think that it can only go up from here. So I encourage, more of what you're doing, involving the youth, involving institutions that train these youth, involving professional partners. All of these are key, and we need to be able to continue cultivating the community that will sustain the profession. And with AI obviously in the midst, it's important for people to be able to direct where this is going. So I think the leadership is on track, and they need to steadily, steer this ship in the right direction with the help of, AI. And so I am pretty excited. And for the youth, I am also very excited for the youth, because I know that there is a lot of interest in interior design. There's a lot of interest in being a professional designer. And I think one of the things that I truly believe, is that with AI as a tool, I think almost everybody is going to become a designer. Now, the question is, how to really utilize it properly, right? And I think it's one of those things that historically, when technology aids up with a tool, we ended up losing certain professions, but we ended up gaining even more. I'll give you an example. Back in the day, we used to have a telephone operator, right? Somebody will have to be trained to pick up the phone in one corner of a room until the other person could actually be connected to it. Now, because of technology, you're connected to each other right away. That person lost their job, but then somebody else gained a job in terms of designing a phone, a mobile phone that looks very flashy. So there's going to be more designers, and I think it's important that we acknowledge that interior design is also about the lifestyle as a whole. So some of these aesthetics are very important, and I think if we assume that everybody is going to be able to aspire to design a certain lifestyle for them, then we will be playing huge roles. You know, designers will play a massive role in people's lives, whether it's in schools, how to design schools, how to design hospitals, how to design universities, which will all look different from what we know. So it's really exciting. I think one of the key things that I tried even with my leadership is that IDDG needs to be able to have a first row seat when it comes to design. When I say IDDG needs to have a first row seat, I'm talking about globally. I think Ghana has a lot to contribute to design and to design the design industry. There's so many cultural elements that, you know, has shaped some of the most remarkable spaces, and even in the architectural spaces, there's a lot of prominent, you know, influences that the culture holds. And I think I want IDDG to be able to have the first role because we have something to offer the world. You know, we have great design thinking when it comes to culturally, you know, how we make our stools, how we make our, you know, baskets, there's a lot of great intelligence that we can share with the world, aesthetically and also functionally. So I think the narrative that, you know, certain Western countries are the only ones to aspire and to be on the forefront, I hope that in the future that changes, and that Ghana, you know, with all this cultural vibrance and cultural element that has, you know, interestingly traveled the world in so many ways, historically through slavery and other things, whether voluntarily or involuntarily. I hope that all will be acknowledged, and then, you know, we can really have a proper, you know, seat at the table, where when it comes to design or creativity, you know, one of the key African countries to be, you know, who can speak on it, that would be Ghana.